talking about putts with break. So we've talked about in the past, speed and line are two of the most important things in putting. Other than your setup and that kind of thing. That's all important. But now we're moving on to a more advanced topic, which is putts with break, right? So while we talked about straight putts, line being more important, for breaking putts, we're going to talk a little bit more about speed and how that affects your putting or your strategy when you're putting, and how to pick out a line that is going to match up with your speed, right? So as we talked about before, we can think of every putt as being a straight putt, right? It's just a matter of moving the hole or moving your target to a different spot so that we can have the ball find the hole or be close to the hole. So from a putt like this, from distance here, we've got a putt that is going to be breaking from right to left. Essentially what I've done here is I've brought some tees out here as an intermediate target. And for breaking putts, this is a strategy that I like to use, is to pick an intermediate target, whether it be an old ball mark or a piece of grass that looks like a little different color than others. We want to use an intermediate target to try to roll the ball over versus trying to pick a spot way out in the distance or something like that. So pick something within about 6 feet to 6 to 8 feet of your ball, and we're going to try and roll that ball over that intermediate target, which is that ball mark, and try to roll it there and try to match up our speed. So when talking about speed and talking about trying to marry the difference in line and speed, the things we need to do is the more break we play, the less speed that it'll have, right? So if I'm putting a very long putt, I might be playing more break with less speed, trying to keep that ball close to the hole, right? That's how we're going to lower our scores and avoid double bogeys. For a putt that's maybe a little bit closer, I'm probably focused more on a faster pace and trying to get the ball to the hole, trying to make the putt. So from a putt for this length, which is probably about 15 feet, I'm thinking more so about pace than I am trying to make it or thinking about exact line. So what I'm trying to do is just trying to get it close to the hole so I can eliminate the 3-putt, right? So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out my intermediate target. I'm going to take a high line, meaning I'm going to play more break than I think I should, and I'm going to try and just nestle the ball up towards the hole, right? So as an example, aiming my putter like we talked about in our good setup, and then from here we're going to take a higher line than that tee and just worry about pace.